Welcome to Dhaka Tribune presents Straight Talk. I am Zafar Sobhan and my guest today is Raba Khan. Ms. Khan is a multi-platform performer best known for her comedy. In addition to her near ubiquitous presence on new media and social media, she has had shows on television in multiple seasons on multiple radio shows. Not just an entertainer, this year she launched a high-end fashion brand named JKNK Collection. Welcome to Straight Talk, Raba Khan.
Hi.
All this and you're only 19, if I'm not wrong. I have trouble getting my teenager out of bed in the morning. How do you do it?
I think I got practice for, like the longest time. Yeah. And I don't think it's in my parents' credit to get me out of bed. It was just that they just treated me like a kid and I was not okay with that.
Okay.
I just wanted to be so much more. I just wanted to be an adult. I just wanted to be so much older.
Well, I mean, I think that's music to any parent's ears. But how did it work with comedy? You know, I think you're best known perhaps for your video blogging, the aunties, the Gulshan girls, all of that stuff. Is that stuff you just did by yourself for friends and family, and someone's like, hey, you know something? Maybe you should take this to YouTube. How did that work?
I mean, when I was 14 years old, that was when the Bangladeshi YouTube thing that was very popular. You know, the YouTubers were getting very popular, but I was one of the very first few YouTubers, I think. There was Salman who started, and then I was like, hey, I have a camera, let's do that.
That's right. Well, that's the great thing about
my entire family was very into comedy. Like, they're really funny people. So I felt like, okay, because a lot of people were like, hey, your family's really funny, you're really funny, I think you should do something about it, and I did it.
Okay, well, that's a great, and right now, like I said, I don't want to be an uncle or an auntie about this, but so you're not in school right now? You're just basically following your career? So
for the time being, yes.
Okay.
I had to take a break. I will be starting my university very soon, but I had to take a break just for work.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to all the uncles and aunties. I'm pretty sure you would want to, turn the TV off right now.
I'm just saying my son cannot hear about this at all. It's like, stay in school, kids.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Please do, yeah.
No, but of course, if you're doing so well, you can always go back afterwards, but you're doing well in your entertainment career. I think also you have a fashion line as well.
Yes.
So I mean, this is serious overachievement. So tell us about the fashion line.
The fashion line is something that I just had a plan just before opening my YouTube channel back when I was 14.
Okay.
That was just the plan that my brother and we both had. We were just like, okay, we're going to open this channel, and the reason I called it the Dhaka project is because we didn't only want to make videos. We wanted to do like a different type of them. We wanted to make daily vlogs. We wanted to do weekly vlogs. We wanted to make comedy videos. I wanted to upload song covers. Then we also wanted a clothing line. So first off, we started with just funny things written on the t-shirts. So it was kind of like merch, but it wasn't really. Like, it wasn't about the Dhaka project. It was just something that you could anyway
And what sort of clothes? Is it the clothes you wear in your videos, or?
No, like the t-shirts were something that we started 2 years ago. And then it was, we did for a year. And then we were like, oh my God, it's very difficult if a lot of people don't know. And then we opened our own clothing line, which is the JKNK collection. And that was something that we wanted to do. It's a high-end brand that we started off just on Instagram. It's very niche, and we're hoping to keep it that way.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what your current projects are in terms of television and radio.
Television, I am hoping to start a new show of my own.
You mentioned,
Yes, it's going to be like an interview show, something like this.
All right.
But this is going to be, of course, very humor into it, and it's going to have some gossip into it.
Okay, all right.
And radio I've been doing for over 3 years now.
Yeah.
November actually marked my 3rd year in radio industry. So,
all right.
yeah, I have 2 shows, one about Bollywood, one about relationships. It's called Modern PTT.
Okay.
So I speak about relationships.
Okay, I feel bad that I haven't heard these shows. I feel like I ought to be tuning in. But when you say it's about relationship, is it a call-in show? Do people come in? Are you a love aunt, an agony aunt type of thing?
Kind of.
That would be very. I can see that working.
People call me and they're like, "Hey, my girlfriend hasn't called back in a while now," and I just say, "Okay, what can we do?"
Yeah, she's found someone else.
Yeah, I'm I'm the most honest person there. I mean, I say the things that they probably don't want to hear.
Yeah.
They don't need to hear.
Yeah.
But maybe something that they would be like, hey, I think that's also a possibility.
Okay.
I try to do that. I try to be that person. But then at the end of it, I'm just like, do you want to hear a song? And I play the song for them.
Well, you know, you got to give a little spoonful of sugar to make the advice go down. You know, and people have to
just
tune
to
in
make them
next
a little
week.
happy.
That's right. And do you do it in your own persona, or do you do it in an auntie persona? That would be kind of cool.
That would be a very good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gave me a show idea that I'm
think
going to actually tell them. I have a show after this,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go and be like, hey,
let's do
a character-based show about relationships. I do it in my own persona.
Okay.
I am Raba Khan when I'm saying all of these things,
Right.
and they're like, most of the time the callers, whatever question I get, it's aapne kabhi bhi kurban.
Of course. So they want to know about
So,
you. They're not calling about their own issues.
Most of the time.
And you, I can imagine, like, well, you know, this isn't exactly the point of the show.
Yeah, I'm always like, hey, ami biye korbo khub jaldi, but aapne kabhi bhi. I always put it to them.
Yeah.
At the end of it, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And your other show is a Bollywood show.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're a huge Bollywood fan, huh?
I'm the biggest one, yeah.
Okay.
The biggest one.
So who's your favorite?
Johar.
Straight up.
Yeah,
huh?
straight up. Yeah, I just know it.
Okay.
Favorite celebrity.
Anything he's involved with, you're there.
I'm always there. Any title says Karan Johar, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
If it's a 36-minute video, yep.
You're there. Huh? Well, he's a very talented man. Yeah.
Isn't he? Yeah.
That's absolutely right. So tell us a little bit. You first came to my notice. Of course, everyone's familiar with the work you've done, and then Dhaka Tribune with the sponsor of the Dhaka Lit Fest, and of course, you had a very talked about panel at the Lit Fest. Tell us a little about that.
It was something that was not expected.
Not expected by you, or not expected by other people?
I mean, both.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure not expected by a lot of other people as well. But when I first got the call for it, I mean, my brother was contacted first because his number is out there.
Yeah.
And he was contacted.
Like your agent?
Yes, he's like my manager. Okay. So he was first talking about it, and I was like, hey, what am I going to talk about? He was like, it's just women in wit.
Yeah.
The panel is called Women in Wit, and you're going to speak about the comedy in the industry and how women are in comedy in Bangladesh. So I was like, cool. There's something that I can do that. That's not a problem. If you ask me to speak about the industry, I can speak to you for hours. I don't mind. It's fun for me, and it's something that I feel like I can do.
Yeah.
Something that I have a place to speak about because I've seen it all. I mean, I've seen it for 4 years now.
Yeah.
After that came all the statuses.
Right.
Speaking of all the rants coming about, why Raba Khan is here.
But I got to tell you, as someone who's been involved with the Lit Fest basically from the start, it wouldn't be a Lit Fest if there weren't rants. It wouldn't be a Lit Fest if people didn't say, why is this person there? So, that happens every year to some extent. But yeah.
And I'm glad this time it was about comedy, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it started a conversation, right?
It did. And thankfully now a lot of people probably will be more open to women in comedy. Maybe they were.
Yeah.
But this is just something that it just reminded them.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, the thing is this. I think a lot of people in Bangladesh, I don't know what it is. We're very conservative in our outlook in terms of what we think should be in a Lit Fest. Like in past years, we at the Lit Fest, we've done stuff like graphic novels, and everyone's like, oh my God, comic books. And of course, this is a very legitimate and important art form, as is comedy. So when people just like, partisana, they're just like, oh, I don't know, what's the deal?
And this is also digital like comedy, right? Like I don't do stand-up.
Oh, I think that's exactly it, right there.
Yeah, because when I started off my session, when I started speaking, I was like, see, I understand the backlash that happened. I understand because I'm the girl who makes Snapchat anti-videos.
Right.
I understand this.
Yeah. But that's where the younger generation is. I mean, people actually, I hate to say this, we're on TV right now, but people don't watch TV the way my generation used to. It is mostly,
mostly
it's
because
YouTube,
these shows are going to be put up on YouTube. Please subscribe.
Exactly.
But it will be, right? So
and the Dhaka Tribune Facebook page.
Both are plugging in our own platform.
Just saying, hey.
So that's the way it is. So children and kids and this generation don't really need to tune in.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the thing is the thing with television is it's you have to tune in at a certain time of the day, right? So this is this is 10:20 Friday morning. And most people like to sleep 10:20 Friday morning. But now you have the opportunity to watch it wherever. But I think you're right. People have some idea that, you know, there's certain formats which are more respectable. And so if someone is on Snapchat, someone's doing Vines, it's like, well, you know, is that even...
Because it's cheap.
Is that even legit?
Like, people are like, I've gotten a lot of comments saying she does cheap comedy. I'm like, what is expensive comedy?
Right.
Like, you know, what is something that you would probably respect more, or what is more prestigious to you?
Yeah.
It is all in your head, whatever you're thinking.
Well, this is it. This is exactly what we are trying to do at the Lit Fest, is to get people to challenge those preconceptions. And I think actually at the end of the day, sure, you have, you know, some people talking smack online about this and that, but, you know, your session was, forget about standing room only. I couldn't even get in, and I'm one of the organizers.
I mean, when I sat, and then there were people who were coming in, they sat on the floor, and there were a lot of people who were listening to it. So
I was turned away at the door. Really? They're like, yeah, sorry, no, it's full. I'm like, yeah, I'm the title sponsor. I'm sorry, they're full.
But it was a lot of fun, and we did take a lot of questions.
That's what I heard. I think people enjoyed it. It opened a lot of eyes, right?
Yeah, and it was a lot of laughs and a lot of, because I did speak, and I was really surprised. The front row was all uncle and aunties.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved that, because I feel like they are, because they do appreciate, and that is something that I would not expect, because I make fun of aunties.
That's right.
But every time I meet an auntie, they're just like, "Beta, tumi amader secret fash kar diccho," which I love.
Well, on that note, Raba, we're going to take a break. Please join us after the break. I am Zafar Sobhan here in conversation with Raba Khan. See you shortly. Welcome back. This is Dhaka Tribune presents Straight Talk. I am Zafar Sobhan in conversation with Raba Khan. Thank you for being back with us. So, Raba, let's talk a little bit about the comedy scene here in Bangladesh. One of the things which occurs to me is how come there are no Bangladeshi sitcoms? I mean, you know, sitcom is a tried and tested and well-loved comedy format the world over. And, you know, we do see some comedy, bits of comedy and natoks and stuff like that, but I can't think of, you know, a sitcom in the classic form of a sitcom that we've ever had here in Bangladesh. I mean, I'm not sure.
I mean, there are Bangla natoks that people have created before, but, like, I wouldn't watch it, because they're like caricature of people. The characters are like
very broadly drawn.
Yeah, like one girl. There's always gonna be a girl who takes selfies.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a girl who gives para to her boyfriend. Like these are just characters that have always been there, and there's not more than that.
Yeah.
Like, you know how Phoebe was. She had so many layers in her character. She had so much that she could offer. She could. She was a very sensitive type of a person, but then she said whatever she wanted to speak. You know, she spoke her mind. That was the type of character building that people don't have here.
I mean, I think, again, but part of it is also the genre, right? So, you know, the natoks, I think, you know, they're good natoks and they're bad natoks, but it's a different genre. I mean, the sitcom genre, that's something which I think there could be a lot of, there could be, I think there's money on the table there. You know, someone come up with a really good sitcom, everyone would watch it, everyone would talk about it, but I just haven't seen it. I suspect one of the reasons is it's not easy. Comedy is actually very difficult to produce.
See, and I feel like every single human being, while making this show, like for example, we make a sitcom show, right? Every single person would be responsible for the comedic timing. Starting from editing to the writing to the way they shoot it. I mean, you know, Modern Family is so well shot. And it just adds so much to the comedy. Right. Because, you know, they're just cutting off, they're panning whenever, you know, there's a just a pause for comedy.
You're right, absolutely. The camera person, the lighting people, they have to understand comedy too. It's not just like doing a drama.
You can't have just any producer. You need a producer who's based on comedy.
And the writing is really difficult, what I understand. I've talked to people who've worked in television, who've worked in comedy, and say writing comedy. It seems like you mentioned, you alluded to Friends, and Friends is an astoundingly well-written show.
And
people think
that just happens. You need to be very intelligent. You need to be very, very smart to write and observe, you know, even if you don't make a show about society, like if you don't reflect that, you have to reflect on people, right? I mean, how else would people relate? How else would people be like, you know, comment down saying, that's me, you know, that's this person. You know, they wouldn't do that if you don't have really good observation power, if you don't know how to write about this specific area
and I think
of place.
By and large, I mean, let's face it, that's what makes for good humor. It's got to be observation. It's got to be about what's going on in society right now. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but I think people would love to see a show like that.
It's relevance. You know, relevance is something that you
relatability.
Yeah, you just.
So this is
need
it. This is your next project. I want to see a Raba Khan written and produced.
And any producers out there?
You know, they would really, it, you know,
they would really want to put their money on writing.
Yeah.
I also would want to really make. Like,
and if you're going to do it, you want to do it well. You want to make sure it really works. You don't want something which is.
I mean, I feel like
right?
I have a lot of scripts for a lot of shows that just keep happening on my phone notes. There's always a lot of things that I write.
Right.
But I always wanted to do. There was a show that was going on. I don't think we're allowed to say this, but maybe you can cut it out. But there was a show. There was a show which was Gulshan Avenue.
Oh yeah,
it was
I heard
about aunties,
that. Right,
and you know, it was about a Gulshan family.
Yeah.
It's just a family, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And I think it was it had like 1,000 episodes or something.
No, I loved it. And I thought it was so clever, the concept, right? And I loved the fact that if you're going to do like a Bangladeshi version of Melrose Place or whatever, what are you going to choose as like the iconic address? And the fact that they came up with Gulshan Avenue, I was like 10 out of 10.
Amazing.
That works.
I would love to watch that if it was still running. Like I would watch that.
But it wasn't a comedy. It wasn't
a comedy. But you know, something like that would be a lot of fun to watch. I mean, people who are Gulshan people would relate.
Yeah, of course. You know, but I think it was very successful, if I'm not wrong. I mean, I think people loved it.
1,000 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. But it ran its course. I mean, shows can't run forever, you know. But I think there is proof of concept there. I mean, in terms of that was, like I said, it's sort of more Melrose Place than Friends.
Because I'm saying this because if you go to a TV producer or whoever who can support this entire project, if they're like, oh, eta to khabe na Bangladeshe, you know, this is something that people are not going to accept it. I'm going to be, look, this is what they accepted before. If you put humor into it, I can just promise like 2 times the TRP.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so much better.
But the thing is this, these days, you know, we don't even have to, and you know, this is the whole point of, YouTube and Facebook. It democratizes everything. You don't have to sell and pitch your idea necessarily. I mean, you became, you know, now of course you're on radio, now of course you're on television, but initially it was just you and, I don't know, an iPhone, I guess. I don't know.
It was first a camera and a tripod, and then I for some reason went back to my phone because it was just easier to make.
On that note, we're going to take another commercial break. Please join us after the break. I'm here in conversation with Raba Khan. Thank you. Welcome back to Dhaka Tribune Presents Straight Talk with Zafar Sobhan. I'm in conversation with Raba Khan. So, Raba, as a well-known comedian, I mean, do you find now that when you're sort of out and about with your friends, people are constantly trying to like say, hey, say something funny, or, you know, do that impression, do the auntie thing? Are you always being asked to be on...
I get that the most in interviews.
Okay, yeah.
Thank
so
you for not.
So I'm not going to ask you here.
Thank you for not.
I was like, okay, all right, I have to cross that out.
I mean, I get that in interviews a lot.
Yeah.
People are like, let's just see that a little bit in live. I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't work like that. Right. I do it with my phone in front of me. I mean,
I
have script.
It sounds like it's very spontaneous, but you know, a lot of work goes into it. A lot of work goes into it.
I mean, one joke that I uploaded a video a few days ago, and that video was fully made with one joke that I had written 3 years ago.
Okay,
So, you know, there's a lot of scripting. People are just like, oh, I want to take it. A lot of takes.
You see, now all the secrets are coming out. It looks as though, you know, you just, really, you know, it looks as though you've just done it like that, but I'm sure that's not it.
It's not. And then I also put a lot of brand endorsements in it. There's a product placement or something. So there's a lot of approval that goes into it. It's not a video that I make one day because I'm a shock kid. No. It's not like that. It's a video that I shoot, and then there's like probably a month that it goes for processing. Like it goes through an agency, and then to a brand, they approve it, and then they let me know. it's a lot of work into it, a lot of scripting.
I always feel that when people ask you to do stuff like that, what about, like I said, when you're at a party or something? Do you have everyone's like?
I only get aunties asking me though.
Say something funny.
No, because as a person, I am very reserved.
Yeah.
So people get very, very like, okay, I don't think she's the same person. What's happening? Who writes her jokes? I'm like, nope, it's me.
But it's just a different aspect
I'm just,
of your
judging you right now. I'm observing you right now. That's why it's comedy's not coming up. Yeah.
I'm taking notes mentally.
Yes, mentally. I'm going to go and write it down.
It's also, like I said, I mean, this is actually what you do for a living. It's kind of like, going to a doctor and saying, hey, I got this spot on my back at a party. Could you take a look at it? People wouldn't do that, right? But then they're always asking you, hey, tell me a joke. And I like, well,
who knows?
That's brilliant. But you mentioned this a little bit earlier. So your TV show, it's going to be an interview show. You're going to bring people on, but I think it's going to have a twist. It's not going to be sitting.
It's going to be a twist, but that is something that you need to be tuned in for.
Okay, so this is like
same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But don't you think you promo a little by talking about it so people know what the twist is?
The thing is, I've signed already, so maybe I can.
Okay.
But it is just something that people need to be looking forward to.
Okay.
Your favorite celebrities, but in a very different way.
Okay.
They're going to be.
When can we hope to start seeing this?
Maybe by the start of next year, inshallah.
Okay, hopefully. Well, that's soon enough.
That's pretty soon.
Enough.
There's just a lot of work that needs to be happening during.
And is it going to be a weekly show?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
and
the goal.
Now you have 2 radio shows. Are you going to continue doing those? I mean, you're really kind of burning your candle at both ends.
I mean, I really am, which is why maybe the education had to, step a little bit.
I don't want to make you self-conscious about that. I feel bad now that I asked you.
No, but I am not actually, because I feel like I will go back.
Of course,
I'm just very confident about the fact that, my grades are not that bad.
I would imagine they're pretty good.
Because, I mean, I study business and economics, which I'm super passionate about.
Yeah.
I mean, I started studying it since I was in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, the thing is this, I mean, on top of everything else, of course, it's not easy to write humor and perform humor, but this is a business enterprise as well. And you got your fashion, you got your fashion enterprise, digital marketing. So I mean,
I am. This is something that I can completely promo, which is at the start of this year. I'm also opening my own creative agency.
Okay.
So my own digital agency that is going to be just based on digital marketing.
Okay.
And something also that I can speak about, because I've done and worked with so many brands. It's just that people are like, oh, you're getting, you're a sellout, or you're working with brands so much. What's the point? I mean, every single profession.
As opposed to what?
Yeah, like every single profession would need to have business in it, because it is a business, right? Like, how else would you be motivated to keep working?
Right.
Why would I give my all and make videos to get like hate comments and nothing back?
Yeah.
I mean, I am getting so much back, because there's so many people, so many supporters, so much love that I get every day. But there's just a certain, like, I need my parents to want for me to keep doing this, right? Like,
no, I mean, the thing is this is, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I appreciate that this is what you do for a living. This isn't just like, this isn't a hobby.
It is not. I mean, that's the thing I do.
I think that's one of the most important things about what you're doing, is you're actually showing people that it's possible to do it. I mean, I think it's important, the fact that you are making a living out of it, because I think that'll inspire a lot of people.
I speak about it so much. Like, someone who would probably be like amongst like 10 more comedians, female, if I would be, then I probably wouldn't talk about the money aspect. Right. I probably wouldn't speak about brand endorsements. But I say this to maybe like one day, like a girl wants to do it. They don't think that, okay, should I put my all into this and not get anything back? But let me just tell you, you will. And this is a thing that you can do. This is a profession that you can, aspire to.
Yeah.
Just
and it does make a difference.
Like
I mean, I think, again, people need proof of concept. So, the fact that you're doing it, the fact that you're making a living doing it, the fact that, you have all of these other ancillary careers which are, associated with it. I would, suggest that, your fashion line is helped by the fact because of your YouTube celebrity or your social media celebrity. And then, doing all of this is probably what helped you, figure out the digital marketing space, which is now something that's going to be a new business which you're going to do.
It's just that from the start, I just had to hear so much saying that, oh, Tomar, you're going to get irrelevant. This is something that you're doing for a year. Next year, you're not going to have any work. I just heard this so many times. Maybe you would probably not say this to a guy, right? I mean, you would, but like, it's just that I just had to work more, and I had to probably think of more scopes of work and more type of I had to make myself open to more brands and like, you know, making of more businesses. And I just had to create that way earlier, way faster than probably someone else.
On that note, Raba, thank you very much for being with us.
I have
really enjoyed this conversation. I mean, I think
here.
it's been a real treat for our audience. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been Dhaka Tribune Presents Straight Talk with Zafar Sobhan. Raba Khan has been our guest. Please tune in next week. Thank you very much.